Hello and welcome to the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnstone, and I have an incredible offer for you today. What we've done is we've taken the 10 most profitable methods to grow your mortgage business that we have learned from interviewing the producers on this podcast, many of whom are doing over $100 million in volume per year. And we've packaged them together into a condensed 45-minute training where you get to learn the 10 most successful and profitable activities that you should be running in your mortgage business. Then we show you how to automate those processes with people and systems so that they run and continue to produce loan applications and new partners that want to send you business pre-booked into your calendar without you having to do any cold calls or chasing or really any work. It's a blueprint for you to be able to produce more in your business while actually working less. And you can go get that training today for free at chriswebinar.com. That's chriswebinar.com. So make sure you head over there today, grab that training for free, and make sure that you watch it, because the sooner you get started on implementing these strategies, the sooner you can see results and continue to grow your mortgage business. Thank you again for being here with us for this episode, and enjoy another one on the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. We are blessed with Rayce Robinson today. Rayce, thanks so much for being on the show.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Excellent. So if you don't mind, for our listeners, we'll get started just by you telling us, like, how long have you been in the business and what does your business look like right now?
So I've been in the business for 20 years and been a broker. I ran a branch. I've been a loan officer. Kind of feel like I've done it all at one point. I'm a broker now. We're a family-owned business. I have me and my son here in Central Florida in a place called Oviedo, just outside of Orlando. And we have, 6 employees that work for us. Kind of we're the hunters and they're the skinners. We go out, get the business, and they kind of handle all the details. So that's kind of the setup. Been, the last 3 years have been incredible. Of course, it's been a little bit of a shift, the last year or so, but it's still been great, still good business, lots of experience. And I do coach as well, some other loan officers. So definitely involved all the way in the mortgage business, as you can imagine.
That is amazing. Now, you mentioned that you've got 6 people on staff and you're out hunting. So can you tell me the breakdown of that team? And
Sure.
then are you actually taking loan applications, or are you strictly on the business development side of the mortgage business?
I would say I'm still a little bit more on the front end, meaning I definitely do the systems and design the business, but I'm still out hunting. So I'm still meeting with agents and developing relationships and kind of making it rain. I don't really do a lot of the pre-qual calls anymore, or pull credit and review documents and that kind of thing. So it's basically me and my son do that part, the front part. And then we have, because of the shift, we have 2 loan partners that have been with us for a long time. We have a processor, an office manager, a marketing person, and then we have a couple VAs in the Philippines that actually do a lot of compliance and some marketing and some video editing and some things like that.
That's fantastic. That sounds like a solid team.
Yeah, I mean, I built, in fact, one of the conversations we just had is, look, the market has changed to some degree, but I built an NBA team, and just because we have a different kind of season, we're not looking to disband the team. So it took me a long time to build the team, and no one's going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. So just to clarify for our listeners, so your role pretty much every day is as relationship management and out hunting for new relationships. So you're meeting with new referral partners, and you're meeting with, maybe you don't even meet with new potential borrowers, do you?
not really. I mean, I can't say I have my phone set up so those calls, when I can tell they're lead calls, and go to the team. If I get one on accident, then I will talk to them for a minute and then transfer it, to the right person. It's just, everyone develops a skill set. To me, especially right now, I have to focus on the hunting. I do meet with the team. We do team meetings, and I go away every quarter on a planning retreat where I spend 4 days by myself, just going through kind of our systems. And so I do look at a bigger view of the business, but my day to day is definitely especially right now, how can we get more business? How can we build, what's the opportunity in the market to build more relationships with more agents?
Excellent. Okay. So that is amazing. I just wanted to clarify that for listeners because we have so many people that are the one man band and they're trying to go out and get the business. They're also
Mm-hmm.
trying to process the business. They're trying to, dip their toe in the underwriting category even
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
We all start there, so.
Yep. Absolutely. And when you started to grow the team, what was the first hire that you brought in?
So when I kind of rebuilt this iteration of the team that I have now, the very first person that I brought in was actually just kind of a loan assistant. I really didn't have a lot of direction. I got some coaching later on, but really she was just kind of helping me review the documents, kind of like a loan partner. And she's still with me now. She's been with me for, I mean, she'd kill me if I get the year. I think it's like 10 years. But in the beginning, she had a title background. So she was doing a lot of the paperwork. I was really still trying to do the same thing, right? At a smaller level, meet agents and give her. I remember Brian Tracy saying one day, whatever you don't like doing, there's someone out there that loves doing that. And she loves like looking at documents and doing spreadsheets. And like, I want to throw up when I look at a bank statement. So, she liked that stuff. She liked kind of digging in. And so we were a good fit. And then I kind of, from there, actually hired a true loan partner, was probably my next hire, where she was like kind of his assistant, then I had a loan partner, and then I was out hunting.
Awesome. And so the hunting activities that you're doing to continue to grow the business in today's marketplace, but also sustain a team of 6 people, where are you focused? Is it just realtors? Are you also going after, divorce attorneys and that sort of stuff? Where are you finding you're spending your time building relationships right now?
I mean, I'll go after anything that presents itself to me, right? Like if someone says call the CPA or whatever, I would say the majority of, and we've went out to some banks and we get some of their turn downs, right? So we do have some of that. The majority of my time is identifying agents that have production. So actually looking up their production, making sure they have business to refer. My son, I tend to try to go after the whales. You're not going to get the whales. It takes a lot more time and energy and effort. So the whales, 20, 30 plus transactions a year. But I really like the middle ground, like those agents that are doing the 10, 15, 20 deals a year, still very profitable agents. Those are the ones that you can really build a relationship and then kind of time develop as they grow. Because a lot of those agents tend to become, bigger agents because they're motivated to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also love that middle. So we use MMI to pull the data. We
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a list in a local marketplace, and then we make the outbound calls and then book the appointments. That's what our concierge service does. And one of the questions that I get asked all of the time from our clients is like, okay, I had my first meeting with a realtor. So I was able to get them to book an appointment with me. But what do I say on that appointment to get them to actually send me deals?
That's the magic question, right? So, and and the answer people don't really like is that there really is no, in my opinion, no magic thing you're going to say to get their business from that meeting. Really, that meeting is setting up all your follow up after that.
Yes.
Really, it's for you to demonstrate that you're a good fit. In fact, I try to, as much as possible, stay away from the mortgage conversation. I'm assuming they know I'm a pilot and I know how to land the plane. So we're not going to talk about landing the plane. I will answer those questions, but I'm really trying to dig into them. And there are agents I just don't like, and I'm sure they don't like me. I'm trying to say, hey, if I'm married to this guy for the next, or gal for the next, however long, like, are we going to be a good fit? So I'm trying to be genuine with them and back and forth. And all I'm really after on that first, I guess, to answer your question, is permission to stay in touch with them.
Yes.
And so that's really what I'm trying to get.
Yep.
And I will ask for business just because I'm there, but ultimately that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, asking for the business is fantastic. And then, the other thing that you run into when you do ask for that business is chances are they're going to send you the worst, hardest deal that they've possibly got. They'll go get that borrower from 3 months ago that they couldn't get across the line with somebody else and, revive that and send it over, which is normal, I think. But I think the point that you touched on there is that it's a relationship. And relationships take a process. It's just like, you mentioned marriage. You don't just walk up to somebody in the first date and be like, hey, do you want to get married? There's that process that you've got to walk through, and understanding that if you're going to build a significant book of referral business, that's really what it takes is
Yeah.
relationship management. It's not, you're not transacting with those people, you have a relationship with those people. And I think that's really important for people to understand.
Yeah, and I mean, I make calls every day. So to me, it's if I'm going to call, it's easier to call someone that I've met that I've got kind of a warm relationship with. So I kind of look at it as I'm adding them into one more person that I get to call, and it's a little deeper than me just calling someone I don't know, right? They know who I am. And so even if they don't take my call, I call, text, email when I reach out to them. So eventually it's like magic. I might leave them 4 voicemails. All of a sudden they send me a deal. And,
Yep.
so it's the consistency after, which you probably know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Now, Rayce, do you take like inbound applications? So you'll get, an inbound application that's not from another referral source. Will you take that application and go look to turn that into referral partners by referring it out to a new real estate agent? Will you send it to one of your existing partners? Do you look at insurance professionals, CPAs, that sort of thing, and going down those pathways as well?
As far as the new stuff coming in, yeah, we're definitely looking to. I don't know if I would use it on a brand new agent. I can't say I never have. I really try to give back to the agents that are consistently referring us out. So I think sometimes we get into, especially right now, we get into the more, where I think right now it's actually about going deeper with some of the relationships you already have, because remember, everybody's scouting those relationships. So I do try to focus on, what got me to the dance, so to speak.
Yeah.
I have not focused a lot on CPAs and some of those. I mean, over the years, I have done well with that. I just, for whatever reason, I have a knack for reaching out to agents, and that's kind of the low hanging fruit. And so that's kind of where I've always spent the majority of my time.
That's fantastic. And then in your hunting relationships, where else do you spend your time? Are you the one making the calls to the database and building the relationship with the database, or is that handled by the team?
All of the above. I wish I could say that it was all automated. It where we're at with our team, so I have my database broken into like realtor champions, realtor champions, realtor partners, realtor hunting, and then we have like a realtor kind of 30 list of people that we want to stay in touch with, and we have different levels of text and different things going out to different depending on where they're at in the database. We use Salesforce for that. So I do call the champions, meaning the relationships that I've gone that are deep relationships. I'm definitely the one that's calling them. My team tends to do kind of every week we follow up with all the existing transactions and try to talk to the listing agent. They're really doing that part of it, and they have a group of agents that they're staying in touch with. I mean, kind of right now, they've kind of shifted to, we're on a boat and everybody has to row. And
Yep.
right now, everybody's rowing. We're all rowing the same direction. So the opportunity is these agents are scared. They see, in some markets, maybe they start to see there could be some shifts in that market. And so we provide potentially a solution to that.
And and what is that solution that you're talking to your agents about right now as the market shifts? What's the value that you're bringing to your referral partners right now?
I mean, obviously, doing deals and all that, closing on time, that is a big part of that. And I do make that a big part. Look, a lot of people talk the talk, we walk the walk all the way through. But really, the biggest part is a lot of these real estate agents. And my son was telling me, Dad, there's 5 people that I know that I got their mortgage license. They're already out of the business. And I was telling him, most of these agents are in the business last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They've never really had to market themselves. They really don't know how to call their database, market their database, call past clients. What do they say? What should they spend their time doing? It's really been about project management as the business came in. So that's
Yeah.
when we can meet agents, is we ask them, what's their goals and what are they doing for marketing? And so that conversation is what I think can make a big difference for an agent, because they're really not having it. They're having 1,000,001 conversations, and I always call it like half-built bridges. They're not just building one thing all the way, one thing all the way. They're kind of like scattered. So we try to zero in on a couple main things.
That's so valuable because it really only takes 2 or 3 really good
Thank God.
prospecting or
I'm only
solid
good at a
methods,
couple things. So,
right?
yeah.
You know, in the mortgage business, call your database, call your referral partners, and, you know, pick up the phone when leads come in. You know,
Yeah.
life can be pretty good.
We like to complicate it, but it's surprisingly simple sometimes.
Absolutely. So for those newer agents that are in the business right now, or even people that are seasoned, what's your advice for times like these? You know, market is changing. You know, we're seeing rates are going up, housing's starting to slow down. But I saw an interesting stat, and I apologize. But I saw an interesting stat the other day that forecasted for 2022, there's still going to be more home sales in the market than there was in 2020. So if you took a look at the last 2 years, our volumes of home sales are still going to be higher. They're lower than they were last year, but it's not been a massive dramatic
No,
shift.
in our market for sure hasn't been. And yeah, and so no one knows how it's going to play out. Obviously, I always say the pendulum is swinging the other direction, but no one knows how far. So
Hmm.
one of the things is that I've had to, some of the same issues I'm having is what agents are having, right? Some of the conversation is to quit thinking about the pendulum. I realized that I was, listening to YouTube and listening to so much stuff that it was starting to affect my mindset, right? Ultimately, my team is, what am I thinking? So I eliminated all of that. It's funny, you think YouTube and some of these social media are kind of evil with what they try to get you, but they get you what they're interested in. So I made a commitment for 90 days not to listen to hardly anything. And that mindset shift really helped because it made me realize, like, if no one told me the pendulum was swinging, I would just be going to work every day and saying, like, maybe it's a little slower this month. I mean, we've had slow months, busy quarters, slow quarters. So one, quit worrying about the market and define what it means to go to work. Like for me, I know I got to call so many agents today. I write some handwritten notes. I do 2 Instagram reels a week. I have a thing that I try to get through every week. And to me, it's like going to the gym, do the same routine. You're not going to get results that week, but you'll get results 6 months from now. So it's just consistency and defining what. So I guess the answer is sitting down with agents saying, what is that for you? And then, giving them some ideas as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's such beautiful advice because the hour a day that a lot of people are spending on social media and on the news and following the rates and doing all that stuff, if you were just to pick
It's
up the phone, right?
much.
And first you got to dig yourself out from underneath all of that subconscious programming that's going in about lack and the lack of abundance and all that stuff. Like, we are abundant. We have more than enough, even in today's marketplace. But if you were to take that hour, focus a little bit on positivity in the morning, and then pick up the phone, that's, there's still massive opportunity out there.
Yeah, I used to have a coach, a guy named Mike Ferry. He's a big real estate coach way back in the day when I was a new loan officer. And he used to say, Rayce, there's transactions happening every day. All right, go get in the middle of one. That's your job. So, I always tell my team, we don't need a lot. We just need a teeny little bit of transactions to do really well compared to how many transactions there are. So, we just got to focus on getting ours.
Yeah, that's so true. And, I've got a story that kind of lines up with that. So we're here in the Ontario market, and Ontario and Canada is phenomenal at having a very diverse culture. So I've got some friends of mine that they come from a different background that I do. And so religiously, they celebrate different religious holidays.
Sure.
So I was out with a buddy of mine, and they don't celebrate Christmas. And he was so frustrated because he had deals that he wanted to close on the 25th.
All right.
And he couldn't get other people on the side of the deal to close that deal. But he's like, hey, man, I could close 2 or 3 deals on Christmas Day, and I got to wait a week to be able to get these deals done. And it's like, no matter what, there's deals out there every single day for you to go get
100%.
in between.
I agree.
Absolutely. Well, Rayce, those are phenomenal insights and absolutely incredible. If somebody's listening and they're looking for help with coaching and for getting through and building that plan, how do people reach out to you? How do they get a hold of you?
I coach through an organization, so they could reach out to that organization. My direct email is I can put, I don't know if you have like show notes or whatever.
Yep,
but
100%.
we can put that information in there. So.
Awesome. Right on. And the organization, as long as you don't mind if I mention.
Yeah, the Marketing Animals.
Perfect.
Carl White, Tammy, I've been coach with them, been really they've been, instrumental in me helping over the last, I've been part of them for 8 years. So um, they are the coaching place for mortgage. Be
Absolutely.
successful. Yeah.
Right on. So we will have all of that information in the show notes. And again, Rayce, thank you for being here and for sharing your value today. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you on the show.
100%. I appreciate the invite. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Hey, it's Chris. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed our guest today on the podcast. This is a reminder that we have just finished taking the greatest lessons from all of our guests and packaging them together into a brief online video presentation that's going to teach you the 10 most profitable ways to grow your mortgage business. And then we show you how to automate those processes in your business with people and systems so that you get the results without you having to do the work every day. This is quite literally a blueprint so that you walk into your mortgage business every day with pre-booked appointments with borrowers that want to meet with you and referral partners that want to send you business, so that you are spending your time inside your mortgage business on the highest dollar per hour activities, and you truly become the executive of your business, a true business owner, rather than just somebody who's going to a job every day and making a wage on the way through. This is an absolutely incredibly powerful training for you, and I cannot wait for you to experience it. So head on over to chriswebinar.com. That's chriswebinar.com to get that free training today. Now, if you could do me another favor, if you enjoyed this episode, please head on over to iTunes, search the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast, and give us a 5-star rating and review, really on any podcast platform that you're watching this on. That just 30 seconds of your time goes to help another loan officer in the industry discover this information and really help put their life and their business on track for more success. We are all in this together, and there is more than enough for all of us in the industry. So I would love if you left us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget to stay tuned for our next episode, and I'll see you then.